Surprise, motherfucker. Yes, it's another video by your friendly neighborhood Venger Satanis. I've got some new maps that I want to show you. But first, I had a really good virtual game yesterday. I ran just a one shot on Roll20 of Chult, just using a light version of Crimson Dragon Slayer. And it was good. It was really good. I'll tell you, I try not to be excessively, I don't know, kill happy or lethal or whatever in campaigns. But I don't really have a problem with that when it comes to one shots, especially like 90 to 100 minute one shots on in virtual, like on Roll20. And so out of the three players, two died by the end. It was good. I found what I was looking for. Basically, I found a parody artwork of the Acolyte, the new gayest of the gay Star Wars streaming shows, and so this image mixed the Acolyte with Breaking Bad. It was for some online article. So I copied and pasted it, and I put it on there. And then once I found that, I changed the title of the one shot. And then I did something which is kind of in my wheelhouse and completely in line with Chult. And what Chult is and how I run Chult is I just designed a very quick and easy scenario based on the image I found. So it included just the very little bare bones of what I knew about the Acolyte and Breaking Bad. And, and I just took like player suggestions that it would see one of the keys to what I do as a game master is players don't want to, a lot of the time, don't want to like suggest things to me in a way that it seems like they're asking, like, game master, can you please like put this in for me? And there's several reasons for that, which I'm not going to get into, but I think you kind of understand why a player wouldn't want to do that. However, in casual conversation, or as a joke, or as just like a random what if mental rambling, they say something like, they say something about their character, and then maybe the game master prompts like, well, you're meeting at, you're supposed to meet at this Winnebago RV, like out in the middle of the desert, where your master, or your boss or whatever lives. That's his home away from home. So, how are you going to get there? And then maybe a player mentions something like, I remember how it went. So one of I had mentioned there's a whole bunch of like different elves. There's like a blood elf and a moon elf, a tangerine elf, etc. And then he wanted to play a tangerine elf, and I'm like, okay, well, one of your special abilities is you can turn into OJ, like whenever you want. Whenever you want. OJ being short for like orange juice. But then the character's like, okay, I want to wear like one like black glove. And then I'm like, oh, is it gonna be a bloody glove? And he's like, no, but it's sticky. I'm like, okay. And then later that player is like, maybe we should take my white Bronco out into the desert. And so I was just like, okay, that's what you do. Everybody piles in this character's white Bronco, and you make your way to the Winnebago RV out in the desert. And that just became, the way the game went. So that's kind of what I do as a game master, is I like pull these little things here and there from just casual conversation or things mentioned in jest or as just musings about, oh, this could be a possibility. And, players pick up on that. And I think they like it when things like that are included by a game master that can rise to that challenge and implement. I mean, it's not hard to do. Someone says something, someone else laughs, and you think, I could borrow that idea and just like put it in the game. I mean, obviously, you probably wouldn't want to do that with like Forgotten Realms or whatever like normal, authentic medieval D&D. But that's one of the beauties of Chult. If it exists somewhere in pop culture, you can find a way to slide it or shoehorn it into the game with really not much problem at all. And that's, again, one of the reasons why I designed Chult, why I love Chult, and why that's the campaign setting for me. Okay, without further ado, it was a really great game. So one player survived, two died. Two of the three players got laid in the game, which is cool. And one of the guys smoked some weird lavender lotus. It was it was a fun, awesome, trippy, silly gonzo game session. And even though it was only like 100 minutes, it was if we gamed for a lifetime. No, it was cool, and I hadn't done that. I hadn't done any virtual one-shots on Roll20 or anywhere else since November. I looked back to see my last game and my last session on Roll20, and it was called Cold November Chult or something like that, which immediately. And then I looked at the date. I'm like, sure enough, that was in November. So it's been a long time, but that's because I'm running a every other week Chult campaign here at my house. And later today is the next game. It's session 15, I think, which is pretty cool. The last campaign lasted 17 sessions. And I want this to go even longer. I don't know how long, but we'll see. We got a new player joining us today too, so that's cool. So don't let anybody tell you that you can't do. I know 17 sessions, or even if it was the next one is like 20 or 22 sessions. I know that's not a lifetime. It's not like pundit levels of decades long campaign. But hey, I'm also married with 5 kids, so, we do what we can, right? But anyway, Gonzo, absolutely, rules light, fuck yes. I can run a whole campaign off of the latest iteration of Crimson Dragon Slayer, the Crimson Slayer micro TTRPG, which Jay Tanaka did the layout for. And it's beautiful and fabulous. And I'll put a link in the description below. It's a free PDF on drive-thru. So I got to upload it to the other places too, like Giant Slayer and Red Room and Big Geek Emporium. I got to do that soon. Anyway. Without further ado, so yeah, I could run a whole campaign, like 22 sessions. I could run off of like a 3-page rule set. If you have the chops and you have the right mindset, and if that's something you're willing to explore, you can do that. I think you could have a better campaign than a 600-page rule book, because you don't need all those rules. You really don't. Anyway, let's get to the maps. All right, so I got 3. I did. If you haven't seen the last video, not my last video, it's like 2 or 3 videos behind this. But if you haven't seen that video with those maps, I think I did 4 of them. Check those out. Those are really cool. These are sort of in the same vein, but also a little bit different. And I'm going to keep going because it's not only something that is useful to my gaming, but I really like doing it. It's a fun artistic outlet. It's kind of like art therapy. And yeah, it's fun, and I like showing people, and I want other people maybe to use them too. I don't know if I would ever start like sell them or something like that, but I'm gonna have a bunch at VengerCon 3 next month in Madison, Wisconsin, and yeah, I'm gonna bring all my laminated maps, and if people want to use that for their game that they're running at my convention, that'd be fucking awesome. I'd love to see it. I'd love to hear how it went, or I'd love to play in one of those games. Maybe, probably several of them. And yeah, so if you're going to be at VengerCon and you could be running a game, let me know if any of these maps you're like, oh my god, I'd love to like use that, at the convention. Just let me know. I would love that. That'd be awesome. Okay, here we go. All right, so this one I really like. I think it's super cool. What I did is I did the whole map instead of using like a black Sharpie type pen. It's not a Sharpie because Sharpie is like a kid marker for versus like what I normally use. I don't know if it's Micron or I don't know. I use one of the fancy pens that you buy at art stores. It works like a Sharpie, but it's better, more sophisticated. I don't know. So anyway, I used. I started with orange colored pencil, and then I used like an Artist Loft again, like an upgraded orange Sharpie for the outline and then I went over it with a light orange watercolor type wash. And then I wanted a nice contrast. I wanted a nice orange versus teal kind of juxtaposition. And so I did that over the whole thing, and then quite a bit on the sides, like in a darker way. And for me, I think how I'm going to use it is that this is like a cave system, maybe like a coral under like an ocean bed, like a dry. If I use it for Chult, it'd be like a dried up ocean bed from 1,000 years ago when this was an ocean. So this is like all like coral or I don't know, like starfish material or something like that. Maybe it's part of the inside of a starfish, great old one. And perhaps it's so deep down that this whole area is like flooded with water that's existed and somehow has maintained itself for 1,000 years, like I don't know, miles underneath the surface of Chult. I thought that was a cool idea because you gotta get the sense as you're looking at it that the whole thing is, if not partially submerged, then maybe there's like a foot of water across like the whole area. I thought that was a kind of a cool idea. You don't have to place it in Chult, and I don't have to place it in Chult, but that's kind of the vibe, where it's like a water-y location. Or you can do the whole thing underwater if you wanted to. If you have a water world, or just a world where there might be something at the bottom of the ocean, or just underneath the ocean, something like that. You can do that. That'd be cool. So I love this map. It's one of my favorites. Also try to incorporate my wife's favorite colors, which are blue, especially teal blue, and orange. Okay, without further ado, we got this one. So, so yeah, I'm kind of doing a little backstory with these maps. I won't do as much with the other ones, but okay, this one was really cool. I wanted kind of like a violet purple sort of vibe, and the thing with this is, okay, so with that I use like the fancy Sharpie things. Remember a minute or two ago I was talking about like kid markers, like Crayola and stuff like that. Well, wasn't really realizing that this would be an issue, but I did go over like these little areas, like right here, like the sort of like, I don't even know how to describe them, but the little boundary interior areas. I did that with kind of a magenta violet Crayola marker. And then I went over it with a light sort of purple wash, and it just kind of like bleeded away and smeared. And as soon as it interacted with the water or watercolor, it just kind of went all crazy. And the interior looked a lot like the exterior. And I just didn't like that. It looked kind of cool. I have reference pictures if anybody wants to see it in that state, but I was just like, I don't love it. I want to do something more. But I didn't really want to go over it with yet more watercolor. I mean, I could have, but I thought, oh, what if I go back over it with a purple colored pencil and see how that does? And I tried it, and sure enough, it turned out really well. I really liked it. You can see down here, I thought about, and I even experimented with putting kind of a yellowish watercolor inside, and it didn't really look that great. So I sopped that up with a paper towel, and then and then I went over it with the purple colored pencil, and yeah, it looks great. And because it's covered, you don't see the bleeding, smearing effect of that marker so much. So I really appreciate that. And I also like the way the caves and tunnels turned out, because it's a slightly different map than I normally do, and I think someone was like in the comments of the last map video said, "Oh, you should do more loops and stuff like that." And so I consciously tried to make it slightly more loopy than I normally would. So, got kind of a loop there, and you got a loop there. So I do try to accommodate when I can. Okay, this one. I don't know if I love this one or if I hate it. It's just weird. I tried to swing for the fences and just go for something different. It all was just kind of like a pinkish, which again, like the other one, I didn't really like. And then I tried to add like all this, like the chartreuse like drops, and you could see some like crimson drops as well. And then I think I did go over it with a colored pencil, but in like a blue, and it didn't really look that great. It didn't look as good as that one with the colored pencil technique. So then I went over it with a blue watercolor wash inside the tunnels and caves and stuff. And then, but that didn't really like do it either. So then I went over it with green. And then I'm like, you know what? I think I've done as much as I can do. So I don't know what you would use this map for specifically. It might be a good like alien terrain, like an alien dungeon with like caves and tunnels and such. Maybe like overgrown with like fungi and plants and things like that. Maybe there was a mushroom garden and it just like went radioactive and just got out of control. and now that's what it looks like. I don't know, but it's bizarre. So it could be a number of things. Let me get a little closer without getting in my own light. So you can see there's a lot of detail. I also tried to spackle or freckle the whole area with lots of different things, because I just used a lot of techniques to try to figure out what's the best way to make this, I don't know, come alive and look awesome. But yeah, that's that one. So without further ado, I will end this video because it's already over 20 minutes. And yeah, happy gaming. And I should have another session report up in a day or two. And what else? Okay, yeah, I'll put a link in the description below for the Ultralight Crimson Dragon Slayer RPG and VengerCon 3 next month. Still tickets available, so attend that if you can. If you're anywhere in or near Wisconsin, really if you're anywhere in the tri-state area, you should go. It's just going to be wall-to-wall weekend gaming, OSR, old school, traditional RPGs, like the whole weekend long. We're just going to be gaming, just a bunch of us. I don't know, 30, 40 people in this really nice hotel. I think there's rooms still available for the hotel too, if you're coming from far away. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And then I think that's it. Yeah. Oh, and then go to Venger's Old School Gaming blog. I'll put a link there too. So it'll be 3 links. And yeah, check out the blog post that talks about today's session, which was going to happen later on this afternoon. Okay. Bye.